Can you tell your Facebook world about yourself?
Yes, my name is John Nelson. I'm a Sergeant, United States Marine Corps retired, and I reside here in Turner, Maine.
Do you live alone?
I do not live alone. I wish I did. I actually have assistance from a few people. My sister, who actually lives, I'm very fortunate, lives on the other side of my house. Without her, I would not be able to own my house and live here to be able to live as independent as I can.
Why do you want to live way up here in Maine?
Because I'm very, very proud that after a long battle, I got shared custody of my daughter, Olivia.
What happened to you, John?
On April 11th, 2015, I sustained a severe traumatic brain injury from a fall when I was in the United States Marines. And I fell, sustaining that severe traumatic brain injury, giving me a Glasgow scale of 3, which is the lowest on the Glasgow scale that you can have. And I was almost to death. It's terrible.
Where did that happen?
That was at Bridgeport, California, Mountain Warfare Training Center in Bridgeport, California.
What did you do there on base? You were a Marine?
Yes, that is correct. I was a sergeant in the United States Marines. I was a mountain warfare instructor, and I used to teach mountaineering, skiing, rock climbing, all kinds of mountaineering, survival skills, all kinds of things.
So you have a severe traumatic brain injury, and do you have any other ailments?
Yes, I have post-traumatic stress from my deployment to Afghanistan, 2011 to 2012. I came home. Before I was stationed at Bridgeport Mountain Warfare Training Center.
And who's this beside you, John?
Oh, talking about this? This is my big companion right here, my dog Duke. He's one of a kind. Oh my gosh, he is second to my lovely daughter. Oh my gosh, he has been with me he's actually 6 months older than my daughter. That was interesting, trust me. He's 6 months older than my daughter. He is amazing. And I got him in, when I lived in California, and I got him in Nevada. My dog Duke. He is a amazing dog. He really is. He's actually half dingo. It's called New Guinea Singing Dog, a domesticated dingo from New Guinea. Amazing dog.
So I think that people, they look at you and they say, wow, he's fine. He looks like amazing. I see your pictures before injury. Do you do that stuff still that you did before?
No, I wish I could. I have, trust me, I wish I could. Like rock climbing, mountaineering. I truly wish I could do those things, but the risk of a fall, that's a high chance of me dying. Like if I took a fall like that I used to take when I used to go rock climbing, wearing a helmet and everything, I know because I was a rock climbing instructor. Hit my head, terrible, terrible consequences.
Would you need a hit like that in order for something to happen to you?
A hit like that? Oh no, it wouldn't take much. It honestly would not take much at all.
And what would happen?
Oh my gosh, what would happen? I would go into, once again, I would go into a coma. I'll be back in square one all over again, if not worse, death. Or I'll be in a wheelchair, right into a vegetative state. It would be awful.
And so after your traumatic brain injury, what did you experience? What was your recollection of what you had to relearn to get you where you are right now?
Can you say that again?
What did you have to relearn to get you where you are right now?
Absolutely everything that you have to learn when you're born. I had to learn how to walk, talk, speak, think, eat. Everything you had to do to pretty much be a human being all over again. I had to learn how to do, just like I was a baby again. I had to do all over again. So on April 11th, 2015, that is my rebirth. I was essentially born again. I feel like I was born again because I had to relearn how to do everything after I got out of a coma after 2.5 weeks. I had to relearn how to do everything just because I've done it before. It was at more accelerated rate that I did it, obviously, compared to when I was a newborn. And it was just different, obviously, because I was going through very intensive therapies. Very intense.
Now, how long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for a total of 11 months and days, like very close to a year.
And has it been easy for you this time since you've been out of the hospital?
Since I've been out of the hospital, no, it has not been easy. Like right when I got out of the hospital, a lot of outpatient therapies, all kinds of things, and traveling to places for therapies, and a lot of appointments, going to places for appointments. And with my mother, she's been traveling with me all over the place, going to appointments. It's nonstop. It really is. This traumatic brain injury has been life altering. It truly has.
So your damage in your brain, is the x-ray show that's fine now? Because you look fine.
I really wish it was fine, but it's definitely not. And if you look at my MRIs, they have not changed. They have not changed at all since 2015.
And what does that mean? How is all this affecting you today?
My confusion, I cannot drive. Just because someone looks fine doesn't mean they are fine.
You sound fine.
I sound fine? Oh no, trust me. My speech is delayed. It really is delayed. And I'm not the only one that knows that. Other people notice that as well. It truly is delayed, trust me. And I work on it, and trust me, speech therapy was one of the therapy that I was in the longest. And I was in there for a long time for a reason, because my speech is delayed.
And what are your deficits right now?
My deficits right now is my executive functioning. So executive functioning, I know that's a big word. What is executive functioning? So that means, taking charge of certain things, what am I gonna do or do for the day, certain things. There's major functions. Those major functions you gotta do to take charge, essentially. That's what executive functioning is. That's really what I'm having a big problem with, is my executive functioning. Because my frontal lobe, as well as all 4 quadrants of my brain, that was severely damaged when I got into my injury.
But your worst was the frontal lobe.
My frontal lobe, and that right there, that's to do with decision making. So obviously my decision making is not well either. Yes, it's the brain. It's the
It's the
neurons.
neurons. The tissue's dead in there.
Yes.
And that's what's giving you the seizures, right?
Yes.
Although you've only had one.
I've only had one seizure. That is correct.
And it was very bad.
Very, very bad. That seizure was in December of 2018. It was a grand mal seizure. It was terrible. I was black and blue. I was not on any seizure medication at the time. That was due to my severe traumatic brain injury. It was a terrible, scary time. It came out of nowhere. It was awful. Awful.
So today, what else are your deficits that you have?
Oh, cognitive. Oh man, like when it comes cognitively is like my problem. It really is, because of my traumatic brain injury. That's what really comes to mind for me. It's cognitive. You know, that's where it's going to give me so much help, and that's why I have so much drive to do so much better and push. You know, 'cause I'm so motivated to really push the next level, because cognitively, my deficits really are, like I said, for everything, you know, my decision making, everything, you know, those high level functioning things when it comes to cognitive. So when it comes to my thought processes, when it comes to anything, when it comes to fast moving places, or, you know, being in crowds, or making decisions, you know, at a rapid pace, or, you know, planning a trip, for example. You want to go on vacation, you know, who wants to go on vacation with their family or go somewhere? Go to the Caribbean. Do you want to go in the Caribbean? I want to go to the Caribbean. I still haven't been.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go to the Caribbean?
Yeah, I like to go to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I want to plan a trip in the Caribbean. And that's exactly what I want to do. That's why with like the treatment I want to get, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to plan a trip, be able to go to the Bahamas eventually in the future, be able to get my health up, you know, with my neurons firing right, plan these trips, you know, with me, my significant other, plan these and be able to go there and be able to enjoy with my significant other.
Do you have a significant other?
No, I do not. Injury. I was married at the time of my injury.
What other deficits do you have, John?
What other deficits do I have? Oh, man. My short-term memory. My short-term memory is really where the problem lies when it comes to my other elements with my problems I'm having. I think my short-term memory is really a problem. So that's a big issue. And that's not only with me, but with other people with traumatic brain injuries. It's very common with people with traumatic brain injuries to have short-term memory problems. So anything, you know, that I just did, that's a problem for me to remember. But so that's an issue. Or my working memory. So that means doing something and then doing something else, trying to remember both things. You know, so I do one thing and I got something going, but I have something on the oven, like I'm cooking or something. That's working memory. So doing two things at once. But my long-term memory, which is amazing, it's a different part of the brain. This is the incredible thing, because it's deep in your brain. That, I'm very fortunate, that is very good still, because it's a different part of your brain. So I'll tell you things from back when I was younger. I'm very fortunate. Those memories I still have, because those are deep in my brain. It's incredible. Like, it's amazing, because those are deep down.
So if you were going to compare yourself to before, what you like to do, you're mountaineering, you said. What else did you like to do?
Oh, before, what I love to do. I absolutely love, like, this started way back when I was younger. I was absolutely obsessed. That started my drive to become who I was, even in my career later on, my military career, was I was such an avid reader. Such an avid reader. Well, I was so avid of a reader. My teachers used to take my books from me in school because sadly, I read so much that I was reading a book that I shouldn't be reading because it wasn't the subject that we were covering. So they would take the book.
Do you read now?
That's right there with the traumatic brain injury. And it's terrible. Sadly, I can't even read. I cannot even read a book. Reading a book, the reason why I can't read a book is because of my attention, is why. My attention's so bad because of my traumatic brain injury. That's why I can't, because my attention is so bad from my traumatic brain injury. I get distracted. So when I'm trying to read, I try all the time to read because I miss it. I miss that passion because look at that book. There's so much knowledge in that book. But sure enough, I get distracted. And then next thing you know, there you go, there's a bird, there's whatever. And sure enough, I'm going to do something else, and I miss that passion. I want that passion back. I want that drive like I used to have. What were you saying, Mother?
So are you saying that your life is totally different now? You're not the person you were before?
Sally, Mother, that is, I completely agree with that. My life is completely black and white, different, and not at all like it was before. I was so extreme. I was such a hard charging devil dog Marine before.
Was it only when you were in the Marines that you were like this kind of person?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. This is not at all because I was in the Marines. Not at all. Not at all. I was like this before I was in the Marines. I'd be like this without being a United States Marine. This is not. This is because the heart I have, or anybody out there, it's all about what you have on the inside as the person you are to make your story. Because it's always possible. It is. It's all about what you have inside.
And what about now? What about now? Like, what is leading you down to the path of wanting to try things that aren't FDA approved? Did you get help after your injury from the VA?
Did I get help from the VA, from Veterans Affairs? Obviously, they helped me out when I was inpatient. They helped me out inpatient, but sadly, when I got out, they forgot about me. They completely forgot about me. And I was there besides appointments here and there, but besides that, they pretty much forgot about me. And I was just checking the box appointments. That was it, and they would just prescribe you medicine, and sadly...
Any therapy since you got out or anything like that?
No.
Do you have a case manager that helps you?
Absolutely none.
So what's your day like here in Turner, Maine, with your daughter, with your sister living next door? I mean, so you kind of live by yourself?
Well, the thing is obviously I do not live independently because I wish I did. But I live the way I have my house set up, which is kind of the perfect setup. I bought a house that's a house with 2 duplexes. I live in 1 duplex, and I let my sister, who moved back from California, who lived right next, like an hour and a half away from me, from the base I was stationed at in California. Like I said, where I got hurt. She moved back from there, from Tahoe, California, to live on the other side of my house. So she lives right on the other side in the other duplex of my house. So that way she assists me in the other duplex whenever I need help. And it's a perfect situation. So she helps me out, and she's my caregiver, helps me out. And it's a perfect situation. It really is. It's completely joined up, and it's a very good situation. It wouldn't be possible with us. And I have cameras in my house. So like I have cameras throughout my entire house. You can look all the way around. I have cameras around my entire house. So there's like
Isn't that an invasion of your privacy?
It's obviously like you would think it's an invasion of privacy, but the thing is, you have to look past that. You know, having a severe traumatic brain injury and seizures, because I've had a grand mal seizure. You know, what's more important? Safety? I think safety. That is completely fine. You know, that is completely fine. Invasion of privacy.
So
that's completely fine. It's not.
Okay, so let's move on to your hopes of tomorrow and what you're going to be going through starting when we leave on Sunday.
Yes, we leave on...
Going out to Colorado?
Yes, that is correct. I am going out to Colorado, but I'm not going alone. My mother, my other caregiver, Kathy Kent, she is going out with me in Colorado.
When you're at home, are you ever by yourself?
When I'm at home?
Or out and about in the society?
No, I'm not alone. Not at all. Like, I always have somebody with me at all times. All times.
So what do you hope this treatment's going to change?
I'm extremely hopeful this treatment is going to change. One thing I've been thriving for and hopeful for is my independence. Me being able to be able to be alone. Really hopeful I will be able to drive my vehicle that I purchased, my pickup truck. I'm very hopeful for that. Oh, very excited. And spend time with my daughter alone. Like, I'll take her out on date nights and everything, spend time with daddy. Oh my gosh. I'm a proud father.
And who do you think you're going to be after you have your hyperbaric, your stem cells, and you go through all of this? Because it sounds like this is going to be like a year of therapy. So what are you going to do? What are you hoping to do after? What are you hoping?
I want to be an inspiration. I want to be an inspiration for others just like me. Not just like me, like as a veteran sense. That, of course, other veterans, I definitely do, that have severe traumatic brain injuries. I really want to push because they are like me, but not just like me, having a severe traumatic brain injury. I want to push other injuries that have injuries, you know, because I want to push injuries in general to have this, to have a heart, and have a heart and the willingness to push and keep pushing, because that is what I have done since day one. And keep pushing and don't give up. Whatever the doctors say, don't say no. Keep pushing, because that's what they said to me. They say it's not possible, and they say it won't happen. But guess what? I kept pushing, and you prove them wrong. You keep on going. You never will know what can happen, and it can happen. Just keep going.
Sounds good. Peace out. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.